The meeting is live streamed. Okay. Should we start, Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhu. I'm on mute.
Oh, okay. Okay. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुमीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणी निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभो नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेशा गोपिका कांता राधा कांता नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुस्तुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवम्। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। Hare Krishna. Today we are going to read Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, 16th chapter, and 27 and 28 two slokas. So we will read. ब्रह्मोवाच अतत्ते मुनयो दृष्ट्वा नयनानन्दभाजनम् वैकुण्ठं तद् अधिस्थानं वैकुण्ठं च स्वयं प्रभं ब्रह्मोवाच अतते मुनयो दृष्ट्वा नयनानन्दभाजनम् वैकुण्ठं तद् अधिस्थानं वैकुण्ठ च स्वयं प्रभम्. Word to word meaning, synonyms. Brahmavacha, Lord Brahma said, Atha, now, te, those, Munayaha, sages, Dristva, after seeing, Nayana, of the eyes, Ananda, pleasure, Bhajanam, producing, Vaikuntham, the Vaikunta planet, Tat, of him, Adhisthanam, the abode, Vaikuntham, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Cha, and Swayam Prabham, self-illuminating. Translation. Lord Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikunta, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the self-illuminated Vaikunta planet, the sages left the transcendental abode. Let me read once again. Lord Brahma said, after seeing the Lord of Vaikuntha, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in the self illuminated Vaikuntha planet, the sages left that transcendental abode. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The transcendental abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, as stated in Bhagavad Gita and confirmed in this verse, is self illuminated. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that in the spiritual world there is no need of sun, moon, or electricity. This indicates that all the planets there are self illuminated, self sufficient, and independent. Everything there is complete. Lord Krishna says that once one goes to that Vaikuntha planet, he never returns. The inhabitants of Vaikuntha never return to the material world, but the incident of Jaya and Vijaya was a different case. They came to the material world for some time and then they returned to the Vaikuntha. So, there is one more verse. I believe our Prabhu, uh, because they are very short in purport, he gave two shlokas for this week, for this Sunday. So let me also read the 28th sloka. Bhagavantam parikramya pranipatya anumanyascha प्रतिजागुमः प्रमुदिताः संसन्तो वैष्णवीं श्रियाम्. Synonyms, meanings. Bhagavantam, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, parikramya, after circumambulating, panipatya, after offering obeisances, anumanya, after learning, cha, and pratijagmuhu, returned, pramuditaha, extremely delighted, samasantaha, glorifying, vaishnavim, of the Vaishnavas, sriyam, opulence. Translation. The sages circumambulated the Supreme Lord, offered their obeisances and returned, extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulence of the Vaishnava. Extremely delighted at learning of the divine opulence of the Vaishnava. Purport. It is still a respectful practice to circumambulate the Lord in Hindu temples. Especially in Vaishnava temples, there is an arrangement for people to offer their respects to deity and circumambulate the temples at least 3 times. So, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We'll little bit dive into what Prabhupada is saying and try to see. So it's very interesting. Here Brahmaji is saying that if I have to pick two key words from this particular verse, and that would be Vaikunta, and then the other one is Vaikuntam, and then trying to check the Swayam Prabham, self illuminating. So Vaikuntam, the Vaikunta planet, and then Swayam Prabham, self-illuminating. So first, now Srila Prabhupada also here brings the verse from the Bhagavad Gita, which indicates the Lord Himself clearly saying that what is the nature of these spiritual planets. Now, from the Shastra, we understand the material world in compared to the wholesome of this existence of the creation, it is one-fold, ekapada. The rest of the three-fourths is spiritual world. See, it's very people like me and like us who got education from the in our universities, the total different understanding. See, Bhagavatam is so clearly indicating we think that this material world is everything. But Bhagavatam saying there is another world which we as materialistic entities in this world do not recognize, do not know, or don't have any clue about that. So that only can be perceived or only can be understood through Shastra. So Guru, Shastra, and Sadhu. These three, through the Guru and Shastra and Sadhu, we can understand is there any alternative world, alternative planets exist. So here, clearly in this verse, it is established that yes, there is another spiritual planets which are quite interestingly opposite to what is a material world. In the sense, they sustain independent. They are self-eliminated. So, and Prabhupada very beautifully in this verse brings the point Athato Jignasa. The whole Prabhupada, the beauty of the Prabhupada is in every chapter, in every shloka, he brings the central theme of the what Krishna wants us to do. See, like other translations are also there in this world, right? There are so many, probably there are other translations, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, for sure Bhagavad Gita, there are tons of translations. But Prabhupada has given the title Absolute, Bhagavad Gita as it is. He said, it's not my concoction or anything. I'm giving this message. So when there are so many chapters, right? But in every chapter, Prabhupada reminds the central theme. That is the beauty of a pure devotee. Otherwise, we only speak that sloka and to that. Because the pure devotee is always, no matter whatever it is, by hook or crook, he wants to give this message because out of the compassion, because he himself has seen the struggle in this material world. Now he is saying that's the reason he brings this point, because even though we don't read the entire Bhagavad Gita, entire Srimad Bhagavatam, but whatever purport that you take, you will get the essence. That is the beauty of Srila Prabhupada translation and purports. So, in the 15th chapter Bhagavad Gita, Purushottam Prapti Yoga, 6th verse, where Lord Krishna says, न तद्भासयतो सूर्यो न शशाङ्को न पावकः यद्गत्वा निवर्तन्ते यद्गत्वा न निवर्तन्ते तद्धाम परमं मम न तद्भासयतो सूर्यो. He's saying this particular planet where I am residing. What is the planet? It is Goloka, Krishna Loka. It is Natad Bhasayate. There is no need of illumination by Suryo, sun god. And then he also says further, Na Shashanko na Pavakaha. Shashanka means the moon. Pavaka means fire. So there is no need of a moon also. Na Pavakaha. Yet Gatvani Vartante. So here the Lord is saying they are self-immolated. Tad Dhama Paramamama. This planet doesn't require sun or moon, or it is self-illuminating and self-sustained. And the Lord says in the last sentence, Tad Dhama Paramam Mama. So one who comes to this abode, they don't need to go back, right? He's saying they don't need to go back. Now, if we look at in perspective in this world, suppose we want to travel to some other country, being a citizen of one country, if we are traveling to other countries, after some time, whatever, whenever the visa permit allows, till that time you can legally stay there, visit there, depending on the nature of the visa that you are given. If you are allowed to work, you can work. If you are not, at least only tourists, yes, you can go and visit the places that you want. But after that time that expires, you have to come back to your country. But whereas the Lord is saying, yes, Tadhama Paramam Mama. You don't need to go back once you come to my abode. See how merciful the Lord is. So that is the thing. And that is the beautifully the Lord is assuring us. See, often there are so many, uh, see, sometimes what happens, in the society, there will be so many promotions are going, and they promise you so many things, but not necessarily all the time they are delivered. But when the Lord says, you are completely assured. So I would like to read this purport because Prabhupada brings so many enlightening points here which will benefit us. So purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. The spiritual world, the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, which is known as Krishna Loka, Goloka Vrindavana, is described here. In the spiritual sky, there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, fire, or electricity. Because all the planets are self luminous, we have only one planet in this universe, the Sun, which is self luminous. But all the planets in the spiritual sky are self luminous. The shining effulgence of all those planets, called Vaikunthas, constitutes the shining sky known as the Brahma Jyoti. Actually, the effulgence is emanating from the planet Krishna, Goloka Vrindavana. Part of that shining effulgence is covered by the Mahatattva, the material world. Other than this, the major portion of the shining sky is full of spiritual planets, which are called Vaikunthas, chief of which chief of which is Goloka Vrindavana. As long as living entity in this dark material world is in conditioned life, but as soon as he reaches the spiritual world, spiritual sky, by cutting through the false, perverted tree of this material world, he becomes liberated. Then there is no chance of his coming back here. In his conditioned life, the living entity considers himself to be the lord of this material world, but in his liberated state, he enters into the spiritual kingdom and becomes an associate of the Supreme Lord. There he enjoys eternal bliss, eternal life, and full of knowledge. And finally, Prabhupada says, one should be captivated by this information. He should desire to transfer himself to that eternal world and extricate himself from the false reflection of reality. For one who is too much attached to this material world, it is difficult to cut the attachment. But if he takes Krishna consciousness, there is a chance of gradually becoming detached. One has to associate himself with devotees, those who are in Krishna consciousness. One should research out a society dedicated to the Krishna conscious and learn how to discharge devotional service. In this way, he cut of the attachment to the material world. One cannot become detached from the attraction of the material world simply by dressing himself in saffron cloth. He must become detached to the devotional service of the Lord. Therefore, one should take it very seriously that devotional service as described in the 12th chapter is the only way to get out of the get out of this false representation of the real tree. In chapter 14, the contamination of all kinds of the processes by material nature is described. Only devotional service is described as purely transcendental. So further also Prabhupada goes. But okay, finally I will read this, then we can. The word paramam mama are very important here. Actually, every nook and corner in the is the property of the Supreme Lord. But the spiritual world is paramam, full of six opulences. The Katha Upanishad also confirms that in the spiritual world there is no need of sunshine, moonshine, or star. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam. For the whole spiritual sky is illuminated by the internal potency of the Supreme Lord. That supreme abode can be achieved only by surrender and by no other means. So, Prabhupada very beautifully and in a simplistic terms, he explains us what is this whole thing, what is happening. So, in this particular verse, the Lord Krishna is saying that my abode is self-illuminating, is self-sustaining. So, can we talk about so many in the corporate world? A lot of times we talk about the self-sustaining, all these buzzwords. But in the material world, there is nothing called self. We are all interdependent. So the bigger things here are the sunlight, right? Without once one day the sun is not there, then we can see the chaos that happens. Even that during the eclipses, a few hours time. I never in my life I haven't seen any even 1 hour, maybe a while back, but it happens during that time also. It is very difficult. Just imagine for a day sun god takes rest and he says, okay, today I'm taking vacation, then how chaos it will be, right? Of course, there are some places they don't see for 6 months the light. But for us, in this material world, we need both sun and moon for proper vegetation, the food that we get, they need sunlight as well as moonlight. But whereas the spiritual world, uh, it is self-illuminated, self-sustaining. Everything is there is nothing external dependence. Why? Because of the Supreme Lord's abode. So Prabhupada brings another point here. We talk about whenever Bhagavad Gita, the material world is described as the perverted reflection of this the real tree. So the real tree is the spiritual existence, spiritual world. But whatever we see in this material world is a perverted reflection. It's a reflection. Say they describe, right, when a plant is or the tree is on the bank of the river, so we can see that reflection in the river on the right. But if we think that reflection as a true, which is our ignorance. So our ignorance can be shattered only by reading the Shastra and by associating with devotees and sadhus. That is the only way. There is no other way. Say a lot of times, being a ours is a preaching organization, and as a preachers, when we go out, sometimes we come across so many people, they don't have any understanding about these concepts. Even theoretically, they don't have any clue about it. Why? They don't this in the material world in our we have done so many years, x number of years, maybe 12 years, maybe 16 years, 20 years, even 30, 40 years, when we spend in our regular academic colleges, nothing this is preached us. If you carefully look, forget about anybody saying anything. We ourselves went to the colleges. The whole purpose is okay. At the end of my completion of this education, what is our purpose? Oh, I have to get a nice job and make good money, right? Lot of times, when I now these days being a parent, my son also is going for college, and then he's debating, okay, what subject he has to take, and then finally he wanted to pursue medicine. But one thing I told him, see, compared to other subjects, other streams of career, this is not going to be easy because minimum 10 to 12 years of your life you have to spend on that. So you have to make a wise and determined choice. It's not that for the sake of prestige or for the sake of money you should do this. The reason because I say now medicine is a very noble practice. And in the Shastra also it is said that Vaidyo Narayana, the Vaidya, doctor is considered that he said as good as Narayana, means Lord Vishnu. Why? Because we go with so many physical, mental problems and he's going to relieve us. So when people pursue this noble career for the sake of money, that is very unfortunate situation, very unfortunate. I would say that is a whole chaos that we see in our see the way I look at anything through spiritual lens. See, for our spiritual progress, realizations are very important. It's not that, okay, we read Shastra and then we only leave the Shastra there. If we don't apply in our day to day life, then there is no use of such reading, there is nothing. Our progress will be minimal. So, we have to apply. Now, coming to this aspect, so I told him, so you have to be really passionate about your subject. That is the first step. The another thing is we achieve our spiritual perfection only through sadhana. So here also the doctors, whoever is studying, first of all, it's a very rigorous, lengthy education compared to all others. If it is a computer science, 4 years done, they are into the mainstream. But this one, not like that. It's a very rigorous. So first they have to have passion. Of course, well, they have passion. But what should be the underlying spirit behind that? They should have the spirit of, yes, I want to serve the people. If a person pursues with these two objectives or thoughts in mind, they will be successful. Now, that is, I said, he said, yes, I'm very passionate. So, this is the real thing, not for the sake of money. Say, if we choose or perform activities in this material world for the sake of money, it, it only brings sorrow and miseries and mental agonies, nothing else. Here is a reason, my personal reason. Suppose if you have 100K versus a 1 million or billion, whatever it is. See, what are the basic things in life? You have to eat and then sleep. Those are at least basic things. So, for fulfilling those basic things, how much money you need? Even if you have $1 billion or $1 million, you may eat very in a sophisticated plate with a diamond plate or golden plate or whatever. But if you have something nothing, even your food, you may eat in even on the what do you call the banana leaf. But the end of the satisfaction that what you get is the same no matter what you eat. It's a very profound thing. This understanding is, if it is not there, people are going chaos. See, people have so much money, but yet they're not happy. Why? Unfortunately, they don't have this knowledge. Well, there is a spiritual world which is self eliminating, self sustaining. Once we go there, we don't need to worry of coming back. So that understanding is not there. We can't find fault with them because it's not taught in our education system. That is the reason Srila Prabhupada says, what is the use of this material education? It's useless garbage. Of course, I'm not promoting here, quit the college and start reading the. No, we are grostas, we have our obligation, but just those we are performing out of just for the need of fulfilling our material objectives. But when we have this knowledge, we are always blissful, and we also deliver our services with so profound intention. Now, a devotee, suppose a devotee doctor is there, the kind of touch and the kind of treatment he gives is different level. The reason I am saying is he's so compassionate. Now, on the same example, doctor. Let's say a doctor is very highly educated and highly is very good at performing these operations. But most of the time, if you, or at least my personal experience is, even last year when I went for an operation, um, the doctor, no matter whatever it is, but vacha, the way he communicates with the patient, that consoles a lot of times. Because if he is good but he doesn't have that vacha, meaning good communication, means soft communication, consoling communication, compassion communication, the patient will not have faith in the doctor, and he won't be recouping so fast. See, ultimately we are logical and emotional, right? These two things goes hand in hand. Logic is important in life, and emotions are also important. So the patient will have such a nice experience that depends how much good experience he has with the doctor, that help him to heal quickly and fast. So a devotee, when he is a doctor, he can not only treat but at the same time give the seed of the spirituality. That is the beauty of uh, Srila Prabhupada. See, Srila Prabhupada is one dynamic and versatile personality. He brings this complex spiritual knowledge and simplifies, and he gives that knowledge in such a way that we practice day in, day out. Look at that, our process. Before coming to Krishna conscious, all my understanding is okay. This may, so much nasty things are happening. If we do spiritual practice, there is a something place called um, heaven. Then you can have so much fun. And if you don't do that, if you do nasty things, you have to go to Narakaloka. So there you will be tortured. This is the maximum understanding. But Srila Prabhupada, when I come to this Srila Prabhupada movement, in the beginning there was one Bengali bhajan I used to listen, and then in that bhajan, the singer says, of course, that is the bhajan. It says, "Oh Lord Krishna, treat me however you want, but I want to always serve you." That was a mind blowing thought for me, because till that time, okay, this is a material world, I want to get out of this. Because when we have that understanding, we just want to get out of these problems. It is our self motive. There is nothing where complete surrender. But a true devotee, a complete surrendered personality, what he does, no matter whatever, Krishna, whether you want me put it in the hellish planets, that's fine, I will go with that. But ever, please always engage me in your service. That is a profound understanding I at least felt after coming to the Srila Prabhupada movement. Because that is the beauty of, see, Bhagavatam and all the entire literature does clearly says that the Lord can be understood in three ways, right? Bhagavan, and then Paramatma, and then what is the first one? Um, is three ways we can understand. So all are bona fide in my opinion. But the best and the easiest is Bhagavan. When you understand the Lord as Supreme Personality, you have ample opportunity to serve Him. because the process that we are enacting or performing is sadhana. This sorry, service. Service, through service only we can do that one. So here it is. So that was a profound realization and understanding for me. Until now, I look around different spiritual organizations, but Srila Prabhupada has given them the deepest secrets, and he just revealed to us. And we don't need to be, oh, now we understood the spiritual deepest understanding. Why I'm not getting there? Yes, that anxiety should be there, but at the same time, don't get Srila Prabhupada clearly in his purport says, just adopt these four things A, B, C, D, which we are all familiar. By that, gradually your taste will increase, and that gradual increase of taste is very important. Anything abruptly happens, that's not going to sustain. Now, we can take an example also, right? During 2007, the real estate market has totally crashed. Before that, people were left and right, they were buying. Why? The banks were giving the loans, and people were okay, what is there? I'm getting the loan, and then even though their capacity is not able to pay that mortgage, monthly mortgage, but for somehow they wanted to enjoy big house, whatever that one. But ultimately, it has crashed. Why? They are so much in this world, there is so much manipulation everywhere, right? So we have to be very cognizant of all these things. Suppose a devotee well versed all these things, he applies in his day to day life. Okay, Baba, my aim is to go back to Goloka, Krishna Loka. What I have to do? See, these are the things day in, day out, we have to put it in our practice. Otherwise, it is the same thing. There won't be any progress. So, and uh, we are jivas, we have logic and emotions, and we are bombarded with the material world. Bhagavad Gita clearly says, padam padam vipadam. Can anybody says that in this material world there are no problems? Tons of problems, one after the other problem. But now people may say, you are devotee, so why are you going through the problem? That where we have to educate. Well, just because I am devotee means I am not going to be subjected to all these problems, or I am not going to undergo all these problems. Yes, we do undergo problems, but we are so blissful no matter whatever happens. Well, this is Krishna Prasad. Whatever happens in our life, then that perspective will change. That is the difference. Even in this material world, also, if you see entrepreneurs, for example, you take the Facebook, the person who uh, brought that one, and then Tesla, Elon Musk, like so many, all these stalwarts, they have gone through so many problems in their life. Today, what is Elon Musk? He didn't create all these things out of just like that. If you read it is also good for us to read those their biographies also, because sometimes when we read these biographies, we also understand. Of course, everybody understand. It's not over a period of time. A sincere efforts. He used to spend. One of the interview revealed that he spends 2 hours, 3 hours of sleep. Of course, he's doing that sacrifice for material advancement. But whereas devotees also, there are devotees who spend only 2 3 hours of sleep. Srila Prabhupada, he used to only sleep, I believe, 2 hours. Because Srila Prabhupada, when he established this organization, he wanted to translate. He was the one man person, one man show, everything. Because that time the his disciples were fresh, they don't know anything, they are born and brought up here, they don't know ethics. Even Srila Prabhupada has to teach them how to respect Guru, because at least people we born in India, we have that tradition or culture, whatever is. But people here, they don't have that culture. Yet, Prabhupada used to teach them everything, how to cook, how to dress the deities, even how to take care of the temple. And then during this time, daytime, he used to perform all these activities. And then another big agenda for Srila Prabhupada is translating the transcendental literature, whether it is in Sanskrit or Bengali, into English, because he wanted to give this knowledge. Before he departs from this material world, he want to complete that job. And where is the time for him in daytime? No time. Then he used to sit in the evenings and nights dictating and translating that. Look at that. How Srila Prabhupada biography we should all read, because that tells us or reveals us how much struggle Srila Prabhupada went through to give this ultimate knowledge for us. So that will enhance our relationship with Srila Prabhupada, our relationship with mission, and there is gratitude every day. These days, of course, I on and off I am doing. One of the profound way to perfect our lives is gratitude journal, writing our gratitude. At the end of the day, before going to the bed, if we can spend 5 minutes recollecting all the events of the day and then see where we did not have our spiritual knowledge and where we just went through the material instincts. And then that way we can gradually what we can say calibrate our life and make more simple and simple, and then dedicate our most of our time for spiritual sadhana and service. So these are the how Srila Prabhupada is the one master. He gave everything for us. He has given us the process. He has given us the literature. He has established the temples. Because suppose we have everything, but we don't have a place where we can congregate and perform our services. He has established the temples, and also, one other aspect I want to bring it to the uh, remind myself. Unlike other temples, here my intent is not to uh, compare or blemish other temples, but in my personal experience, when we come to our ISKCON temples, we engage, we welcome the visitors, but at the same time, we try to give this process. See, that is the beauty. If I go to other temples, okay, you perform this yajna or you perform this ritual, you will be all your problems, physical problems, or you will be, your career will be nicely flourishing. So these are the only things they offer. So you offer this yajna or you perform this one, all your problems will be gone. See, that is, it's good. That is better than not going to any temple. But at the same time, when we go to the temples, if that is our motive, of course, well, we get that benefit. But we need to go one step beyond. But that particular process happens our ISKCON temples. So rather than temples, I consider our organization or places of worship are like a hospital and then preaching organization. So why ours is a hospital? Because we jivas suffering from this material disease. So here Prabhupada is highlighting the attachment. So that attachment, we need to uh, that reduce our material attachment. That only happens when you have higher alternative. See, simply as a parent, I learn my kids, especially my daughter. Okay, stop watching YouTube, all these gadgets. But I used to do that. It is frustrating for her and frustrating for me also, because she's not doing what I say, and for her, she doesn't have other alternatives. So what is that? The other day I was having discussion with her. Okay, you are saying not to watch, but what can I do? I don't have friends in my neighborhood. When we were at a different place, there were kids. But in this lane, not many people. So what do you want me to do? So I have to provide her an alternative, higher taste. Then the lower taste can automatically goes. Don't forget about it. So that's the reason we have do's and don'ts. Don'ts, yes, we all being Indian background. Oh, if I didn't do this one, we have this guilty feeling. That guilty feel will ruin us. So rather, I would say focus on do's. The do's will take care of the don'ts. Okay, in the beginning, gradually, Krishna is residing in as a Paramatma. He gives that intelligence for us. He will pinch us. You can cross-examine in your own life's actions. There are sometimes we take actions, but Krishna will even depending on how serious our practice, that intuition will be there. Not only for us, even for a normal human being also, there will be some intuition, right? We say gut feeling. That gut feeling sometimes logically everything. Uh, yeah, logically everything it points to take some action, but sometimes we say no, 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 I need to take this. Why? That gut feeling, that intuition will be there. So just give you a perspective. Uh, Sometimes way back uh, when I came to India, sorry, America, and then when I went back, we were looking for a plot where we can build the home for my parents. So you know how our trips, right? um, Very short, and then we have to accomplish whatever. So we looked at so many things. Finally, I decided one, and then we also told the owner that okay, we are going to buy this. And just before one day, we were about to give the money, but I don't know what happened. I said, no, I'm not gonna there. I'm not gonna go for that because I was looking for that was not in a little bit not much nice community. So my parents and everybody was so shocked. Why these guys spent so much time? And then finally, one day before going, he's saying he doesn't want. Then I said, no, I'm not happy. I'm not going to do that. So that gut feeling always happens for devotees or non-devotees. But if it is a devotees, the gut feeling happens for the benefit of spiritual progress. So our only shelter is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. It is not whimsical, and life will teach us through our own experiences. We realize that. Now, to put it in another way, in this material world, problems are there. Everybody knows. What are the solutions? Is it doctors are giving, or the scientists are giving a solution for us? No. The more and more they are. Yesterday only I was talking to um, in a with a friend. See, the science proclaims that they made life easy, or the technology they made life easy. No doubt they made life easy. I mean, our life's only 20 years and back, and now it's super easy. Look at the smartphone. Within the palm, you can do everything. It's amazing. It's amazing. But the counter side is it is becoming such a addiction worse than drugs. Why? Everything is available. People are hooked up to these smartphones. Their memory is going bad. Their memory is diminishing. We are not able to even remember other the close, very important phone numbers, and we are always addicted. Our focus is these days, a lot of studies are happening where they are saying people's focus is going down. They are not able to focus. What are all these our natural god given abilities are going down. We are becoming the servants and of the smartphones. Our smartness has been transferred to the smartphones. I'm not saying we should get rid of smartphones, but we have to, being a smart individual, we have to take advantage of what we have. Srila Prabhupada used to say, one of the press reporter, he asked, Why do you think always chastise the material advancements? Prabhupada says, yes. Do you think we are building left and right so many hospitals? Is that a progress? Because till I heard that comment from Srila Prabhupada, it was mind blowing the way Srila Prabhupada looks at the practically, and he said that questioned the reporter, do you think that is a progress? The reporter said, yes, why not? We are building so many hospitals. And Prabhupada told him that is not progress. Of course, you are providing the facilities, but more and more people are suffering. They are getting into problems. That is the reason you are building. But why? Where you are addressing these problems? You have to address in such a way they never have any problems. That is not going to happen. Why? We are not living in Vaikunta, because our temple, the 27, it talks about Vaikunta and self illumination, right? Vaikunta. We are so much anxieties here. In this material world, we are bound to have the anxieties. Those anxieties can only get rid of or gone only when we go to the spiritual world. But people, devotees, though they are in this material world, they are not, they are living Vaikuntha, like a in Vaikunta, because they are not subject to these anxieties. Look at the Srila Prabhupada. When he came to America, he doesn't know anybody. Literally, when a person asked in India, Prabhupada, why are you going at this old age? This is the old age meant staying in Vrindavan and dedicating your life, but Srila and chanting and just you don't know anybody there. Why are you venturing into this adventure? Srila Prabhupada said, no, I'm a different person. Look at that. At that age, he doesn't have no sponsorer, nobody he knows. And then on top of that, this country is a Parama pure devotee, a Vaishnava. And then his food habits are totally vegetarian. He can only offer. And then they say that time it was vegetarianism, probably that may not be that much prevalent in US. And then he came. Why? Out of compassion. For him, he's whether he is in Vaikunta or in material world, wherever he is like in that no anxiety. So he's living like as in Vaikunta. So very amazing. I'm very grateful and all my obeisances to the Supreme Lord that I came in contact with the Srila Prabhupada movement. It's a profound knowledge. So the only way we can get out of this material world, go back to the Goloka, is through ABCD. And we are very happy that we have this and hope one day we achieve that one. Okay, so as these two slokas meant in the first sloka, in a summarization, Vaikunta, no anxiety there, and those planets are self-illuminating. And one last point I want to touch base in the 28th sloka, it mentions about the practice of circumambulating the temple. So I was trying to find why that such practice are there. Sometimes one particular this is upon my research I found that, see, the temple is a source of energy, and they think, and this practice is that when we are circumambulating around that, we are trying to grasp that energy, something like on that lines I have seen. But that is a practice we do. So all the Hindu temples, wherever in particularly the Vaishnava temples, have this facility of circumambulating. And we are very thankful. Even our local ISKCON neighborhood temple, they have this provision, so we can also circumambulate in our temple pradakshina. It's called pradakshina. So the three times, so that will bring whatever. But as a practicing devotees under the guidance of Srila Prabhupada, we don't do anything such ritualistic activities just for the sake of material benefit. We do out of service any activity that we perform. So, so I will end here. So I think we have 5 more minutes. If anyone has any comments or anything you want to share, please feel free to express. And yep. Okay. Hare Krishna. I will end the call here. And thank you very much for joining the call. And I wish you a blissful, happy, Krishna conscious day. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.